Send a picture.
Okay, cool.
Oh my gosh, so Catwoman.
Yes.
One of my favorite characters. I loved the storyline with her mother this past couple episodes. What are your feelings about that storyline, and where do you see her going forward after it?
I loved that storyline because it showed a part of Selena that she doesn't show people often, because she doesn't like showing vulnerability, and she's generally such a sensitive person, but she's had to learn the hard way that living in a place like Gotham, you can't be vulnerable because people take vulnerability as weakness, and because of that, her heartbreak, the second heartbreak, not only it's not even a heartbreak because her mother broke her heart before, and then she came back into her life and then broke her heart again for money. And it tears Selena apart, and that's kind of the breaking point where she says, you know what, I'm not going to depend on anybody, I'm not going to rely on anybody, I have to solely trust myself. And I think she forgot about that for a little while, especially with her relationship with Bruce going. She forgot that she has to only trust herself. And the situation with her mother definitely reminds her of that.
Could Selena eventually forgive Bruce and understand his point of view? Because he seemed like he was in a, difficult situation. Like he was screwed either way you look at it. Like,
no, I don't think so. I don't think she's open to understanding his point of view. Once a woman sets her mind, she's set. And especially for Selena, the fact that he persuaded her into starting a relationship with her mother and then didn't tell her, oh, you were right, your mother is using you, that's messed up. So I think at least for the time being, she's saying, screw you, Bruce, you did me wrong. We all know that their relationship in the comics is so crazy and toxic and wild beyond anything, but yeah, she's like, boy, bye. Tell him, boy, bye. Yeah.
With your background in dance and all that, how did you use that to incorporate and kind of embody Selena and kind of make it part of your character and how your character moves and how your character grows?
I think it came naturally because I don't consider myself a very outgoing person. I consider myself an introvert. I'm not as shy as I was before, but I do consider myself an introvert. So I communicate much easier with my body, and with the writing is so good that I just allowed what came naturally, I guess. And the fact that I am a dancer, that I am able to pull that off makes my job easier. But I love it. I absolutely love it. Did I answer that?
You did.
Okay, cool. I rant.
No, it's good. Have you met any of the other franchise actors from the Batman movies, like Michelle Pfeiffer?
I've never gotten to meet Michelle Pfeiffer, but I have gotten to meet Lee Merriweather and Julie Newmar. And okay, so the story behind Julie Newmar, I was on my first talk show. It was Home and Family on Homework.
Okay, yeah.
And it was my 16th birthday. I was either coming up or had just happened. And they were doing this trivia, and I had to figure out this voice. And this voice said something, and I was like, who's that? Eartha Kitt. At the time, I didn't know that it was a live person, so I said Eartha Kitt, and they're like, no. And then Julie Newmar came out, and I was like, oh my god!
I remember that episode.
Yes, I was about to cry. That's how excited I was, because she was the first Catwoman, the very first Catwoman. So yeah, that was
Bruce and Selena have a very fraught relationship, and also a very adult relationship in the comic books. So, how did you two as actors and the directors work with you to sort of dial that back into something age appropriate while still having that sort of spark and back and forth that we know that they have?
Right. their chemistry comes naturally for sure. As far as the making it age appropriate, the writers definitely helped with that, in that they made it less of a this foreshadowing towards what they will become, and more of this teenage love affair of not really understanding the feelings that they feel, or not really understanding why they feel the way that they feel. And that definitely made it easier, because that I could understand it. I'm a teenage girl. I have no idea what I'm doing most of the time. And so it made it a lot easier being able to play that, because they wrote it that way. And yeah, because they wrote it that way.
But I think you guys do a really great job
Thank you.
with that, and you especially, because you are trying to be very hard bitten, and part of that is also being very experienced. And then you have these like looks and moments where the audience can read, I literally have no idea what
Exactly. Well, thank
what
you.
I'm doing.
Thank you. I'm glad that's pulling off.
Yeah, it is.
Thank you.
Thank you.